Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we're covering Price Book Basics. This webinar will cover a price book overview, price book setup, which includes your price book categories, pricing defaults, and warranties. We'll go over your job form preferences, how to add products to your price book, how to add products to an invoice, and how to upload a price book if you already have pricing that you would like to load into your system. We'll do a live Q&A at the end where you'll get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's dive into WEX FSM. All right, so just as an overview, your system will allow you to have multiple price books that you can pull from. When you are on an invoice, which right now I'm just on an invoice in my system, and when I click add item, I can add items from the price books that I have in my system. There are three main price book types that you can have. From Pricebook will be your WEX FSM integrated price book that comes with all subscriptions, and that is one that you can either build manually where you're entering products yourself, or you can submit to have pricing loaded, and that will also show up in your integrated price book. I'll show you where you can load a price book at the end. We also have flat rate pricing from Profit Rhino, and this is a subscription. This you can add on as a subscription to your WEX FSM service. And this is great because it's already a pre-built price book for flat rate pricing, and it can save you a lot of time. It will have the product name, the product number, the description, and it's organized by industry and makes it just very simple to have a price book instantly loaded into your system. If you are syncing to QuickBooks, you will also have a section with your QuickBooks item list. If you do not use a QuickBooks item list, then it will not show up here. If you do have a QuickBooks item list, then it will be a one-to-one copy from your QuickBooks into WEX FSM. So that is just an overview. These are the main price books, but let's now dive into setting up your WEX FSM integrated price book from scratch. There is a very particular order that we recommend setting up your price book. It is going to lay the foundation first and get your organization together before you actually start adding products. Now, the first thing that we recommend doing is setting up your price book categories. And that is going to be, I like to think of this as my folder organization. Uh, Kind of like digital file folders with subfolders, and making your folders is a way that you and your technicians will be able to search for things and find them easily in your system. First, let's navigate to More Applications, Price Book, My Price Book Categories. More Applications, Price Book, My Price Book Categories. That will bring you to the categories page. And as you can see here, I have some categories already set up. We have someone joining. Just want to welcome them. Looks like they are connecting to audio. And there we go. Welcome, Chelsea. We have just gotten started here. We have gone over a little bit, but we are recording today's session, so you will be able to watch a replay of this. We'll show you where to find this at the end, but welcome, Chelsea. Your price book categories, you will be able to set up top level categories, which are kind of like your main folders. And you can see I already have some top level categories here. I have a general folder, I have an installs folder, I have a brands folder. And the way that you set this up is completely up to you. Think about how you want to search for things. When you are in your price book, and I'm just going to click back to our invoice here, your price book folders is kind of how you're going to look through and be able to search for the items that you want. And that is all set up here on the price book categories page. Now, top level categories will allow you to add subcategories. If you want to add a top level category, you click add top level category, enter the name of the category, new top level category, and click add. You will then see that in alphabetical order here. And let's go down to, here it is. So we created the new top level category. And if you want to add a subcategory, you can click the red plus button. New subcategory. And click add. This comes in handy, and the reason why we're doing this first is because you want to set up your folder organization. Then when you add products, you'll have a place to organize them when you're adding those products. If you want to delete a category, you will simply click the edit pencil and hit delete. It will not allow you to delete it if there are still items in those folders. So you would need to delete those items first from the My Price Book page, which we'll look at in just a little bit. But once you've deleted all of those items, you can then delete the subfolders. And once all subfolders have been deleted, you can then delete the top level category. So that is the first step. Come here and set up your price book categories. Next, we want to take a look at your pricing defaults. We will navigate to More Applications, Price Book, Pricing Defaults. More Applications, Price Book, Pricing Defaults. The pricing defaults page, this allows you to set your parts markup default, your maintenance plan pricing, and you have 3 modifiers that you can create your own percentage discounts or upcharges. Just a little context on these. You will want to come here and set these up. This is your standard price. That is the main default pricing that you will charge your customers. It will take the cost of your price book items, multiply that times your markup, and that will result in the standard price, which is what you will charge your customers. An example here, if I have a part that costs me $100 and my markup is 1.5, then I'm charging my customer $150. Now, this is just a default. You can update this by either typing this in here or clicking up or down, and you will see the values change here. And this is completely up to you and what you want your markup to be. And realize that this is just a standard default that will add or will apply when you're adding products to your price book. But of course, if you are adding a product and you want the markup to be different, or you want the standard price to be different, you can change that. You can update that individually when you're adding those items. Maintenance plan price. If you run a maintenance plan program, it is typically good practice to offer a discount for your maintenance plan customers. That may be a discount on parts, that may be a discount on certain services that you provide, but this is a default pricing strategy that is in your system. And what this will do, the way that this works, you will set your discount. Let's say we're going to give all of our maintenance plan customers 10% off on parts for future services. So I would set my discount to 10% here. If you are creating a proposal or an invoice and you are showing this to your customer, if that customer is not a maintenance plan customer, it will show them the available savings if they were to sign up for your maintenance plan program, which is a great selling tool. If the customer is a maintenance plan customer, then it will just automatically apply that discount. It will update the standard price to the maintenance plan pricing for that job you're doing. And that happens automatically, so you don't have to think about it. You won't forget to add the discount. And on the job form itself, you'll be able to update that to take the discount off if you want to. Then we have our modifiers, and these are completely up to you. What you would want to put here is determined by either the discount you want to add or the upcharge you want to add. Some examples here. We have friends and family discount. I'm helping out a good friend. I want to give him 15% off. I would just change the pricing strategy from the standard price to the friends and family discount price, and it will apply this discount to my proposals and invoices when I'm adding items from the price book. Another example, military discount. Someone's in the military. I am giving them 20% off. I just update it to that. But maybe you want to add, you want to upcharge. A good example of this would be after hours pricing. You're working on the weekends, you go out to an emergency job, you will simply change the pricing to the after hours pricing, and it will apply your percentage upcharge from here. We also have labor defaults. And so when creating labor products in your system, these will be the defaults that are input when you create the item, and you can always update these labor defaults in the moment when you're creating the item. Now, something that is very important about this, and it's here in yellow with a nice exclamation point to let you know, you'll come in here and you're going to set your pricing. And then maybe in the future, you want to make a change, maybe change your maintenance plan discount from 10% to 15%. You want to do a little better incentive this month. Any changes that you make to this page will take effect on new items that you add into your price book, but your previous items that are already in your price book, those will maintain the old pricing. So if you make an update, just realize it's not going to update into your entire system. It will only update on products you create after you've made the change. Now, a benefit of this is that it will maintain the historical record of pricing on all of your items that you've created in the past. But maybe you do want that update to change. Like I'm changing my maintenance plan pricing to 15% off. I want that to apply to all of my items in my price book. That's very simple to do. You will just get help from customer care. So you make an adjustment here. I want that adjustment to be applied to all items in my price book. You will go down to the help center, the little smiley face guy here, click on that, and then contact support. And really just tell them what you want. Hey, I just updated, my parts markup multiplier. I would like this to apply to my entire price book. They will create a service request for you. You will see a ticket show up down here for that request. And it typically takes 1 to 2 business days, and then that is updated. So you'll be able to go in, look at your price book items, and see that those changes have applied. Also, you can only use one pricing strategy at a time. So these do not stack. You'll set these and then you'll be able to choose one of these pricing strategies. All right, next we're going to talk about Warranties. To get there, we will go to More Applications, Price Book, Warranties. The warranties page, this is where you're going to set up any warranties that you want to attach to your Pricebook products. If you click New Warranty, that will allow you to select either a manufacturer parts warranty or a contractor labor warranty. You put the name of the warranty, the length of that warranty, and a description. You can choose whether or not it is an extended warranty. And we want to set these up first here because when we're creating our price book items, you'll be able to select from a list, from this list of warranties you've added here. And the nice thing about this, the way that this will work is you create your price book item, you select the warranty that relates to that item, and then when you add that item to your price book, it will just include the warranty. It's already attached. You don't have to think about it. But this is the admin page that you set up your warranties. And again, that's More Applications, Price Book, Warranties. The last section of just our foundation, our setup of the price book is our job preferences. So we're going to go to Settings, Jobs, Job Preferences. This page allows you to determine basically what you want your invoices and proposals to look like. What information do you want your customer to be able to see when you are showing them those job forms? So from this page, do you want your customers to see the location name, the model numbers, unit prices, maintenance plan savings, billing address name, product numbers, line item amounts and quantities? And really, that's just up to you. These do have a little eye next to them. If you hover over the eye, it'll give you a little context. But maybe when you're showing your customer your invoice, you don't want them to see the product number. You need to know the product number so you know what to order, but you don't want them looking up that product and seeing how much it costs and, factoring in how much you're charging them. And so you can always either show or hide by toggling on and off. All right. Next, let's go to how to add products to your price book. So we've set our foundation. We have set our categories, our folder organization. We've set our pricing strategies and markup. We've set our warranties. And we've set our view preferences. To add items to your price book, you will go to More Applications, Price Book, My Price Book. And then this is the official spot where you're going to actually add items into your price book. These will be the items you will use to add to your proposals and invoices and charge your customers for those products and services. Now, what's the reason why we set up our categories and pricing defaults and all that is because when you're adding your products, all of those will now apply to these items. And you can see I already have my folder organization here. This is a one-to-one copy of the categories page. We've got my top level category, we have my subcategories, and when you are adding products, you'll be able to organize those into this folder organization. To add a product, click Add Product. And there are 4 product types. You can add a single part. You can add a labor or service. You can add a bundle, which allows you to pull in multiple individual items to create a single product. great for flat rate items. You can add parts and labor. And discounts. And these are different than your pricing strategies. Your pricing strategies are percentage discounts that will apply, to the price book items. A discount is going to be a dollar amount discount, kind of like a coupon. It'll just take the dollar amount that you put and subtract that from the total of your invoice. So let's take a look at an example of setting up each of these. Single part only, that is going to be adding your parts into your price book. You will need to enter your product name, your categories. So this is where this comes in handy. We've already set up our categories. So now I can just say where I want this to go. Let's say we're going to make just a general part. And then we'll put that in our general parts folder. And our income account, we'll select income job. Now this is, so if you are syncing to QuickBooks, when I add this item to an invoice, that invoice will sync down into your QuickBooks, but then the line item will also sync to the income account. So you could have parts and labor together on an invoice, and you will be able to, in QuickBooks, pull reports on your parts and on your labor individually, as long as you are assigning these correctly here to go to the right income account in QuickBooks. And then a description. This is going to be customer facing, so it's always good to make sure your product name and your description are what you want your customer to see. On the left side, you will choose, do you want taxes to apply to this? You can always turn off taxes per individual item here. And the cost. This is important if you want to track profit and loss in your system. Each job will tell you how much money you have made on the job, but that number won't be correct if you do not factor in your costs, which is how much you pay for this item here. If this is 0, it won't factor in the cost. So you want to put how much you're paying for the item. The markup is automatically applied from our pricing default, so it's nice we set that up earlier. And then the standard price will be determined by the cost you enter. So let's say we're paying $100 for this part. We're going to charge our customer $150. But I know this part. I know that this part is actually $200. So you can simply come in here, make an edit. I know I just want the final price to be 200, and your system will just do the math for you and adjust your markup. And you can do this for every individual item. And then pricing strategies. This is what this is saying is, do you want to be able to apply these strategies? And realize the maintenance plan pricing is unique. It will apply automatically if they are a maintenance plan customer. The other modifiers will not auto apply. But if you do not want that option for this item, you can simply toggle that off. And then let's say your technician is wanting to add a friends and family discount, but you don't want that. They won't even have the option to do that if you have this pricing strategy turned off. You can favorite items here. And when you're searching for items in your price book, it's nice to have some favorites, stuff that you know you use all the time, and you can simply favorite items when you're creating them right here with the little heart. And then additional details. That is going to allow you to add your warranties, which we have also already set up. So this is a part, so maybe I want to add a 5-year standard parts warranty. When I add this item to my job forms, it will automatically apply the warranty, so you don't have to remember to add it in the moment. And then serialize is going to be great for any parts that you want to document the serial number. I'm a technician. I've just added this part to my invoice, and I'm looking at the serial number of the part that I just added. I will have a field now to enter that serial number and make it unique for that customer. If this is off, you won't have that field to add a serial number. So make sure you're adding serialize for any parts you want to document the serial number on your job forms. So that is setting up a part item. Next, let's take a look at adding. I'm just going back. I'm hitting add product. We're going to select another and we're going to go to labor or service only. And this one is very similar, but it is different because this is for labor or a service specifically. You still want to enter the product name, the category. Let's say that we will still put this in general, but I want to put it in my general service folder. Let's say that this is, just a general labor. And I'm sorry, I put it in the wrong place. Oh, no, that's correct. Correct. Yeah, labor is a service. So we'll put that in the service category. Same thing here. You want to make sure that you are selecting the correct income account to sync to QuickBooks. Any description that you put here will show to the customer. And then same thing on this side. Do you want to charge taxes? You can put in your costs. Your labor rate will automatically pull from the pricing default section. And then this is the hourly price. And so let's say that I wanted to add labor as a product to an invoice. It'll be $150 will represent one quantity, 1 hour of service. I can change the quantity to 2 hours and it will just multiply that pricing. And for labor, maybe you don't want any discounts on labor. So you can just always turn these pricing strategies off completely. And then if I add a part and these are on, it'll apply to that part. But if I add a labor and these are off, it will not apply. Additional details will allow you to add a labor warranty. And we've already set those up from our labor admin page, or sorry, our warranties admin page. You can also favorite labor items with the heart from here. Next, we will add product and go to product bundle multi-item group. And this one is unique. So the parts and labor, you're creating the items. The bundle is pulling those items into a bundle. So you do need to create the individual items you want to add to the bundle first, and then you will select them and search for them and select them here. You will just type in what you want. Maybe I want to add a general. You do have to spell. That is a prerequisite. Okay, there you go. So search for the item that you want. Let's say that I just want this general part. If the item you're looking for to add to this bundle is not part of your price book, you can hit add new part to add a new part into your price book and then select it. So we will choose, let's say I want 2 parts to be included in this. Go to select labor or service, and now I'm going to add a labor to this. So let's search for our general labor. And there it is. I've selected my parts. I've selected my labor. This is great for flat rate items if you want to build that. And then you would hit create product bundle. And now this is similar to creating the other products. You'll put your product name. Maybe this is just a general, bundle. Organize this into your categories. Same as before, add your description. Do you want to charge taxes? This is the final price, which is factored in with your markup, but you can adjust this if you want. I know I actually want to charge $800 for this. And then do you want these pricing strategies to apply? Now, what's unique about this is if I scroll down, this will show me all of the bundle components. And so a scenario of how you may want to use bundles is I want the customer to see a single product. They don't need to know all that's going on behind the scenes. I just want to show them that we're doing a service and this is how much we're charging you for it, and they can read the description of, what that includes, which you can control here. For you on the back end, I need to know the parts that are included. I need to know the manufacturer numbers of those parts. I need to know what the labor cost is. You'll be able to see that on your end, but your customer will just see the product name and the description and the price. Last one, we will do add product and discount. And these, like I said, these are dollar amount discounts. So maybe I just want to add a $10 discount. I will type in $10 here. It will automatically add the subtraction. So it is a negative. It's subtracting $10. And then I personally like having all my discounts in a folder. So I made a discounts folder. Where do you want this to sync to in QuickBooks? And you can add a description here. If this is like a friends and family dollar amount discount, you say, thanks for being part of the family. And when you're done with all of these, any of these that you're creating, you will hit save. And then that will save those items into your price book. So we can see some examples here. You can click the little caret drop down here to view what is in each folder. The number here will tell you how many items are in those folders. And you can see here's our general part. We've got our general labor. We've got some bundles in here. We've got some discounts. If you want to make an edit to an item, you can click on the item and edit it and then click save. And if you want to look into a folder, you want to go into this folder, you can just click on the number here, and that will take you into that folder, and you can see a little more details of what is here. If I click on details, that will allow me to edit the details and save. Last thing on this page, when you're in your price book, the My Price Book page, you are able to view in a list view, which is what we're looking at now, or you can also view as a folder view, which some people prefer this. All right, so that is setting up your products. Now, how do we add these items to an invoice? Let's see this in context. So we've got our foundation set up, we've added our items. Now we're ready to really use this and charge our customers. To do this, you will go to an invoice. And so when you create an invoice, you will be able to scroll down and go to Add Item. When you click Add Item, like we looked at before, this will show your products, your price book options here. And you can either search for items. So I already know I want a general part. So you type in the keywords. Anything that has the words you type here will show up down below, and you simply select it to add it to the price book. And another way that you can search is through your folders. And some people prefer this. I know that I want a general labor, so I'm going to go to general. I'm going to go to my service folder, and then I've got some different labor charges here. We'll just select general labor and be able to add that. Now, what's nice is you can select multiple items from different areas of the price book. So like I've got my general labor here. Let's go back to my parts. I want to add my general part. Let's say I want a bundle as well. So I'll go to my bundles folder. Up here, it's going to show you your folder navigation. You can simply click to go back to a previous folder. Let's add our bundle here. And then I would like a $10 discount. So I will go to discounts. And here's my discount. And we can see we've added 4 items. They're kind of in queue. They will add in the order that you select them. So as you're going through, if you want them in a particular order, you will just click on them to add them in the order you want to see them. And then when you're ready, you will click add 4 items. I have already done this, so these are what the items will look like here. Now, this is where the preferences, the job preferences comes into play. Right now, it's showing the unit price, the quantity, the maintenance plan savings, the final pricing, and I can control individually per invoice what we want to see here. So we're going to go up and we're going to go to pricing settings. And from here, you can update the pricing strategy. So we can see it's already selected the maintenance plan price because our customer, Justin Hernandez, is a maintenance plan customer. And then show line item quantity and prices. Do I want them to see the quantity that we're charging them for and the pricing? Maintenance plan pricing we're showing so we can tell Justin, hey, as being part of our Comfort Club member, you're getting 10% off today. And then line item unit prices. Maybe I don't want Justin to see how much the unit price is. I just want him to see the final price. So we'll want to hide that. When you're ready, click update. And then unit price is still showing. Hold on, let me look. Pricing setting. Line item unit prices. If this is set to show, unit prices for the line items will be shown. Right? Hide. Update. All right. I'm not sure why this is still here. So, let's save. Oh, we lost somebody. Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure why this is still showing. Give me a second here. So we have our pricing settings, line item unit prices, hide. Okay, so I think we may have found an issue. I'm going to write this down. Line item unit prices. And I will look into that afterwards. But typically the way that this would work, you would click hide and update, and then it will hide that element. And so maybe this test account, something is going on with this. You can try that. Oh, maybe you have to hide the quantity as well. Yeah, let's look. Pricing, view line item, quantity and prices. So if we hide that and update. Yeah. Something is not happening correctly because these should go away, which I've done like a million times before. So either the product team is doing something in this test account that I'm using, or there's an actual like a bug that we would need to submit, which I'm gonna investigate afterwards. But you can try this out on your own and see if this works for you. If it doesn't, so actually, good teachable moment here. If you ever run into something that like doesn't work or it's not working as intended, please reach out to customer care. Let them know what's going on. You know, technology is great, but it's not always perfect. And we are constantly making sure that any bugs that are happening, we are fixing them as soon as we can. So, first, we need to know that that's happening. So, if you do run into something like this, you just click on the Help Center, contact support, and you let them know, hey, I'm trying to use this feature. It doesn't seem to be working as intended. And then they will be able to document that, send it to the product team, and get it fixed. All right, we have one final section. Actually, let me check my notes, make sure we're good on this page. We've added our items. We've updated our pricing settings. Yep. Okay. So now if you want to make any edits, the nice thing about adding the products from the price book to the job form, proposals, invoices, it now becomes unique for this customer. So I can make any edits I want. I could even add this general part and go in here and I could change it to whatever I want. Maybe this is like a service call. I can update the description, information here where I want it to sync, and then hit update, and it'll just make those adjustments as needed. You can quickly toggle taxes on and off here, and that will, maybe I want to charge tax for this item, but I don't want taxes on my labor, so I'm gonna, take that off here. Easy to take taxes on and off per item. And then down below, it will show a option to present. We can go into a present mode. And then that is just simply a cleaner version to show your customer. Let's say that you're using a laptop or someone's in your office and you just want to show them right on your computer. And then you continue forward. So now you can choose pay now, record payment, send it to them. They can make a payment online, or save and close, which will save it and you can open, edit, and do whatever you need later. The final thing we'll talk about before getting to our Q&A is how to upload a price book. So everything we've talked about today has been building your WEX FSM price book from scratch, which does take time. It will, you got to put in some work to add in all of your items manually, which is great. You have a lot of control of what it looks like in your categories, and you can get very particular with your pricing. However, maybe you don't have time to do that. So if you already have pricing in a Excel file, you're able to load that into your system, and that can save you time from having to manually enter. To do this, you will go to More Applications, Data Center. And what we're looking for here, I mean, really, it's just going to tell you exactly what it needs, but we're looking for submit a new price book upload. And you've got some options for loading. If you already have an Excel file, and it has to be an Excel file, it cannot be a PDF. We do require a Excel file. I have a beautiful Excel file with my names and my product numbers and my descriptions and my pricing and my costs and all the things that need to be entered into the price book. You can simply upload that. I have my own file. But maybe you don't have a template made up yet and you would like to use our template, which will ensure you have everything that we need to load. You can say, I would like to populate a template, and then that will give you an Excel file that you can then fill out yourself. Once you do that, you will submit. That will go to the data team. They will load that into your system. And then after that load, they'll notify you, hey, your price book has been loaded. And you will see those price book items in the My Price Book page. All right. So that is all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope that you learned something. We're going to go to our Q&A now, but I just want to say thanks so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Price Book Basics.